correction would have to be proven in court under a Rule 108 correction. It's a special proceeding para po mabago yung death certificate kasi hindi na pwedeng gumawa ulit ng bagong death certificate. And it takes time and money. Kaya problematic po to sa ibang pamilya. Kaya yung iba, kahit mali yung death certificate, dahil nailibing na, okay na rin. Kumbaga, moving forward, wala na, tapos na to. But it's helpful for the families that the correct cause of death is indicated if they intend to file. And this is what we handle, cases of murder, homicide, or crimes against humanity. Kung gusto po nilang magkaso dun sa pagpatay.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney. Now, Mr. Chair, for my last manifestation, Mr. Chair, yung pong the convenient excuse that we always hear from, with all due respect to our uniform, I have high respect for our uniform men, but for some time, because there was a state policy, to go against anybody who is either accused of selling drugs or even those who are been addicted to the illegal substance, unfortunately, karamihan din namamatay. And those cases na wrong, be at the wrong time, at the wrong place, tulad po nung kanina, yung si Britannico, yung sinasabi pong nanlaban ng mga yung mga argument nila, rason nila, it doesn't reconcile with the fact na merong mga misdeclaration or even miscertification ng cause of death. Kasi kung yun po talaga yung nangyayari, Mr. Chair, para sa akin, why do they need to make up stories? And I guess, unfortunately, in our country, we only have two experts to tell us really the story. Kasabi nga nila, even yung patay, may storya at pwede magsalita. And this only it would only be made possible through forensic science. And unfortunately, we do not have enough experts for us to be able to really, strengthen our justice system, because this is all part of the justice system, no? Yung pagbibigay ng hustisya doon sa mga namamatay na mga some are really killed, no? While kanina po we were listening, Doktora, when we were asking about the smuggling of illegal drugs, it's just so ironic that while we see countless victims, those people lying in the streets, lifeless, cuddled by their loved ones, by their mothers, brothers, girlfriends, sons and daughters, there were cases of importation, smuggling of illegal drugs. It's so funny and it's so ironic. It's mind-boggling. No? Tapos here we are, there are several cases of death in the streets, tapos misdeclared pa and miscertified pa ang cause of death na pneumonia. So God bless you, Doktora, for doing this. And I hope, Mr. Chair, part of the intention of this Quadcom is to really craft a bill and probably to look at the loopholes on how we can probably strengthen not only the policing, not only upholding the rule of law, but as well as to help out, probably invest more on forensic science so that we can upgrade at least the investigative aspect of our policing, and as well as to find out what really happened in cases where there are criminal or activities involved. So marami pong salamat, Dr. Fortune, for your time. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Attorney Conti.
So thank you, Congressman Adyong. Since there are no other interpellators, so we can now proceed with the summary of what transpired in the last 12 hearings of the Quad Committee. And at this point, I'd like to recognize Congressman Acop.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pwede po bang magtanong ako muna?
Yes, you may. You may.
Doktora, perchance, are you related to Attorney Sig Fortun?
He's the brother of my husband.
Thank you. Madam Muking, sinasabi po nyo kanina, wala po kayong pera, wala kayong pondo, di po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero posible naman na kayo'y mautusan ng may pera para magbigay ng pera.
Pardon, Mr. Chair. Utus.
Sabi po nyo kanina, walang pondo na hinawakan ka. wala kang pondong pinamimigay. Pero posibleng-posible na ikaw ay nautusan ng may pera para magbigay ng pera sa isang tao.
Hindi po. Wala po, Mr. Chair.
Wala.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Marami pong salamat. Mr. Chair, I think I was given the hard part of our hearing tonight. Walang gustong humawak po nito eh. So, pagtiyagaan nyo na po ako. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Mula po sa opening ng pangalawang yugto o season 2, kumbaga ng ating mga pagtatalakay dito sa Quadcom, ay narinig po natin ang mga statements given to us by our resource persons, Mr. Taguba, Mr. Guban, and Mr. Asierto. Atin din pong nasilip ang affidavit ni Mr. Las Cañas na ngayon ay witness na sa International Criminal Court. Kaya naman po, siya ay naka-embargo at hindi humarap dito sa atin sa Quadcom. Each of these individuals all carried with them intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the drug trade in the Philippines. At ano po ang similarity nila? Lahat po sila ay nagsalita at nagsiwalat ng ibang version ng war on drugs at nagdawit ng mga pangalan. At dahil dito, lahat sila ay nagdusa and they earned the ire of then former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. In the Philippines, nagsimula ang drug menace sa pag-usbong ng mga laboratory, gawaan ng droga o ang mga tinatawag na clandestine laboratories. Eventually po, narinig natin na ito ay napalitan ng business model ng pag-angkat or importation ng droga sa bansa. Malakas ang business of drug importation sa Pilipinas. Ang isa sa mga kadahilanan nito ay ang mga importer ng illegal drugs were able to skillfully exploit cracks sa ating sistema para makapasok ang droga sa ating bansa. Ang tanong, bakit parang kabisado ng mga importers na ito ang mga vulnerabilities sa ating port security? Simple lang pala ang sagot. Dahil may protection, dahil may connection. For now, I will let these headlines shown here speak for itself. Narinig po natin ng paulit-ulit at nakondisyon na rin po ang ating mga utak na galit si former President Duterte sa droga. Sabi nga po niya sa ating law enforcement, pag may sangkot sa droga, kill, kill, kill. Ngunit the link between former President Duterte and drugs begins with the testimony of two resource persons before this committee, Mr. Mark Taguba and Mr. Jimmy Guban. Ito po ang tale of two shipments, istorya ng dalawang shipment. Dalawang shipments kung saan sumabit si Mr. Taguba at Mr. Guban ay nangyari noong taong 2017 to 2018. Yan din po ang taon ng height of the war on drugs ni former President Duterte. Kapansin-pansin na kahit magkaibang shipment at ibang transaksyon ang pinag-uusapan, ang detalye ng dalawang kwentong ito ay pareho. Pareho pong bilyon-bilyon ang halaga ng syabong ipinasok. 6.4 billion in 2017 at 3.4 billion in 2018 na pareho pong nakatago sa mga gamit industrial. Metal cylinders in 2017 and magnetic lifters in 2018. Parehong pumasok sa Manila International Container Port at parehong dawit ang mga pangalan ni Honorable Paulo Duterte, Attorney Mans Carpio, and Michael Yang, anak, son-in-law, economic advisor at malapit na